Minnesota Twins celebrated the return of baseball to Tink Larson Field as part of this weekend's Play Ball initiative, a league-wide effort by Major League Baseball to engage young baseball fans and celebrate their participation in baseball and softball. The Waseca High School varsity team hosted Tri-City United, the only home game of the season after a devastating fire to the grandstand back in April. Tri-City took a 1-0 lead in the third inning on an RBI single by Jack Skolzaracek. They built a 3-0 lead until Waseca rallied in the sixth. Hard hit ball by Henry Hagan bled through the infield and made it 3-2. Waseca would tie things up, but they fell 10-3 in extra innings to Tri-City. Let's head back to Waseca, where earlier tonight Marty Gellner spoke with Tink Larson himself.
Okay. Tink, it was a pretty significant game here, I know, for so many members of this community. What were the emotions like for you to watch all of this unfold and see baseball here again?
Well, it was really heartwarming, I know that, to see that many people show up. The last month and a half has been pretty devastating, especially the first few days after that fire. I've only been hysterical once in my life, and that was when I looked out my window and saw this thing up in flames, because it was gone when I saw it. You know, it took about 5 minutes for the whole thing to blow up, because it was, 80 years old and the wood was so dry, so it didn't take time. But this is nice to see this many people out, and actually the whole experience has been great. All the support that we've received from around the state, and I heard you say a little bit of help from the Minnesota Twins. It was a lot of help, more than a little. It was a lot, and if it wasn't for Dave St. Peter and the Minnesota Twins, we wouldn't have been playing maybe even this whole summer, because Dave was down for a meeting here in Waseca and asked when the last possible date would be, and we said May 20th. He says, I'd like to see a game here that day. Well, when he said that, the city manager and mayor says, we'll make it happen. And I can't believe how much work it's taken in the past few weeks to get it ready to play. So if it wouldn't have been for Dave wanting a game here, we would not have had one. So we can thank everybody.
I saw the two of you having a conversation, too, before the game, and it looked like it was maybe an emotional conversation. How much did that conversation mean and his help mean?
Well, it meant a lot, and it maybe was a little emotional, because I still get a little bit too emotional in talking about this field, because, it was 50 years of work and memories that went up that night in flames. And so when I see people that are so helpful, because the whole state, I mean, it's unbelievable. Of course, I've been coaching a long time, so I know a lot of people, and all the people that have send in donations and see us get back on our feet and help us buy new equipment and all that. It is kind of touching when you think about how people are so nice, and to think that somebody like Dave St. Peter and of course Terry Ryan is a very good friend of mine, and he's very supportive, and to think that people like that take the time to help simple little people like us in Waseca, it's pretty touching.
And this is one of those stories that could have been a complete tragedy, and in the end it turns out it's a happy story, and we're talking about good things. How much healing do you think can come from an event like this and the reconstruction of this grandstand?
Well, it's brought a lot of people close together, and even people that aren't baseball realists or, don't love the game, they've said, because this was a landmark that went down, and even if you don't like baseball, it's part of your community. Like, if the courthouse uptown went down, you might not like politics or city government or anything else, but you'd feel bad for the town when something like that happened. The same thing here. So I guess when it all boils down to it, I guess I'll feel good when I have the dedication ceremony for the new stadium, and then I will know that it happened. Until then, it's a lot of promises and talks and plans and so forth. But when I see it completed, I'll be smiling.
And we hope that goes in the fall of 2017. That's when they say this grandstand will be completed.
Right.
I think we're all wondering what Wyatt thought of this game today. Did you have fun at the baseball game today? Smile if you say yes.
Smile.
Okay, there's a smile from Wyatt. He had fun today, 2.5 years old, the great-grandson here of Tink Larson, on what turned out to be a spectacular